So guys, now it's time to rerun the attack with the next options, which were the Facebook one and the paywall one. And of course for the Facebook one, I guess we would need nothing more than what we have. But for the next one, we would need most likely a paywall which can be downloaded and executed on the target machines in order to get a server shell or anything whatsoever. So basically, I guess to implement such an attack, we would need some kind of like internet access, because without internet access, we would need to we won't have the opportunity to connect back to accept the connection, the reverse connection. So basically here we are going to demonstrate a third option, and therefore we're going to try to implement the fourth one. So bear with me, and now we run the script as it is with force host APD instead of rogue APD. So here click enter. Now the network is gonna come up and we're going to scan all of them. Now let's look for our one, which is 217's network. Wait a little bit longer. And a little bit longer. And now we have that. So go here, and now we can specify the attack number 3 to see what output we get there. So specify the attack 3. Now the attack is starting as we see, and now it's deauthenticated our network. So if I go here, it's gonna be deauthenticate me in any moment. So yeah, I'm done with that network. I get a connection from my phone, I guess. Yeah, my phone automatically connects that network. That's where I'm going to get in that get request. So I'm gonna connect from my laptop as well, and let's see what information we get from here, what prompts we are prompted out with. Now if I open my phone up, I'm gonna actually see just a little bit. Wait a second, and yeah, I'm having some Facebook page like without any kind of logo, but it's saying log into Facebook. We have an email and password, we have term of use, and now we're going to wait the connection to be established on my laptop one and see, yeah, there it is, and see the page itself. So basically here we can see that get connected to the internet for free. A simple, no free Wi-Fi service, therefore we can actually implement such an attack, such a social engineer. And let's say here, if I type something, I guess it's gonna be actually, oh, it's even checking the email, guys. So here it's checking if we have the right email. If we don't have the right email, it's gonna prompt us with the false regex. And the regex is basically the expression of the letters and symbols there. Basically, if you type regex, we have no connection right now. Regex is how to actually analyze and describe some like language or words. Right here we need words and letters right here. We need that symbol, especially that symbol. We have another letters right here after that symbol, and we have dot here, which must be here, and we have domain. So this is like the regex, how to analyze strings. So click login. Oops, an error occurred. Our engineers were notified. Please be patient as we are working on it. Imagine how much information you can collect implementing such an attack on some hotel Wi-Fi's. You can get like the whole hotel's Facebook and so on. So basically, if we go to the target machine, since we are working just on that, and close that with Control C, let's see what happens. We have the email of SDSD, and we have the password again SDSD. Okay, nice. So we're closing now. Our Facebook phishing page were closed on my phone, even though I wouldn't actually type anything, but the attack was closed. And now it's time to actually implement another time the attack, but this time with a payload. So first open to connect to my real network. We have connection, I guess. Let's open a command prompt and go for ping go.com. Nice, we have ping. Exit. And now we still have to wait for our network to be discovered. And as we said, imagine how much information you can collect from hotel Wi-Fi's, from public Wi-Fi's, because when the Wi-Fi is public and you go there and implement such an attack, the user is gonna make no difference whatsoever that that network is public. Because in instance, if we have an encrypted network and we see the same but with non-encryption communication without a password, we can get slightly like suspicious about that network. But if we actually go to a free Wi-Fi and actually see some networks which is free and another one which is free, we cannot make any difference whatsoever, and even we need to actually go there and sit and watch and analyze the MAC addresses in order to actually see some differences and see which is fake. So basically, if you go and implement such an attack, for example, for some Wi-Fi's of hotels, of coffees, and so on, I'm sure that you can get a lot of Facebooks out there, but keep in mind that you must be connected to the internet. So when they connect to you, you redirect the connection, you become in the middle, or in other words, this is one of the case. The other case, when they say the connection was cut off, we were the engineers and you cut off the attack. So for that, they connect to the real network and they have internet. So really keep in mind here that you can think for like a lot of solutions for a lot of problems, and all the problems and all the solutions are in your head. So basically, whenever you think of a problem or an approach, you first think it yourself, think how can you implement it, and that's why I always repeat, use your creativity. As you see in these examples, you can implement one attack in multiple ways, you can extract information in multiple ways, so you need to actually use your creativity to make it mind-blowing, to make it non-suspicious, and basically you have to use your creativity in order to create a successful attack. So now let's go for the fourth one, and click here, click enter. Now we have entered the full path to the payload you wish to serve. So basically here we need the payload, and now it's time to generate any. So let's open a new terminal and let's type, for example, MSF Venom, P for payload, therefore Windows, interpreter, reverse, and TCP. Therefore specify the L host, I guess. I have config. I think we have ping. Yeah, we have connection, nice. So clear that. I have config 192.168.0.108.1. Therefore specify L port for equals 4444. Specify UF disable to make sure that our firewall will not block the connection. Therefore we specify the E or the if was the F, the exe, the format, and of course now we can specify the file by double arrows and desktop, specify like update.exe. Now I think we are ready to go. Click enter, and I think we should not get any error whatsoever. So the payload is generating, which is gonna get us a reverse shell, and by that time the payload is generating, I'm gonna start my Windows machine in order to test that attack from the first point of view. So here I'm starting the Windows 7 machine, and let's see what can we get. So here I don't need terminal Windows anymore. Invalid payload selected. So Windows / interpreter / and I removed the double arrow because when you, for example, use double arrows, you are adding a content to the current one, and when you're using one arrow, you are overwriting, and now I'm going to show you that in a second. So reverse. Now I think it's good to go. So for example, what I wanted to show you is when we have a file like let's say echo file 1 into file 1. So if I cat file 1, we had the file 1, but now if I go and specify echo file 2 and double arrows file 1, now I should have file 1 and file 2 below it. So basically cat file 1. Oh, we have two files, sorry. If I use that in order to add the content to file 1 and now cat file 1. We have file 1 and file 2, and now if I basically print out echo file 3 into one arrow to file 1, and if I cat file 1, I get the file 3. So the content was overwritten, and that's why we used right there the one arrow, since we are creating brand new exploit. So aram file and specify the shift and 8, which is the arrow, which means everything in regex. So clear, and now we're good to go. So exit that terminal. We have nowhere selected from the payload, selecting arch. Okay, so we're selecting 32 bits, which is good basically. And now we need to select the full path, so I think we are here in root. So yeah, root, desktop, and we block the application. Okay, so root, desktop, and therefore specify update.exe as a payload. Okay, so now the server is starting, we have a connection, and now let's see what can we get. But I'm not sure that if it needs to actually authenticate us. I'm not sure why is it doing that, because how can we get a reverse shell if there is the authentication? Never mind, let's try it out. Go here to Windows machine, and basically we don't have any connection right there available. Never mind, let's go to Windows 7 and connect to our network. And let's see what happens now. So this was the previous page. We have the Eminem right here. Okay. We are connected. Let's see what happens. When I actually open with my smartphone, I get to a page when I was asked for updates, and we're gonna see that now. Yeah, so the exact same page, but it was mobile friendly. So do not worry for generating payloads for mobile devices. The application, the web server is doing that in friendly way, so basically you don't have to worry about that. So let's analyze the page and see what can we get from here. Basically now what we have is Flash Player plugin update. We have step 1, click update now, and run the update. Okay, so how does the plugin manage? What's a plugin? We have different, like a JPEG image here. Now your browser plugins are severely out of date. If I click update now, the file is gonna be downloaded, but the virus protection is gonna immediately trigger it, because you know Defender these days is kinda amazing. So the virus protection got the file because we did not hide it and encode it and use canvas, and we did not basically encrypt the file. So the signature is already stored in the database, and then the Defender immediately blocks that thread. So start action, we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, it's a fact that nowadays the Defender is pretty well doing about viruses, but still it can be bypassed. So this is the page. Keep in mind that for that page you need to actually use like a target range. We need to know what payload to use, and we need to know what operational system we are focusing on, and so on. So this is the tool I wanted to represent to you. Now I want to quick show you one more tool, which is again for Wi-Fi attacks, and with that our series of wireless attacks are finishing. So let's connect to our real basically network. Let's go to current machine. We don't need the Windows 7 anymore, and okay, so here we need to close that, and now it's time to basically move away from that tool. It's great, and you know that for different attacks we should implement different tools. Now close all that since we don't even need it. Connect to our real network since we have access to internet, and now go to wifipumpkin, download. Again, it's GitHub page, and this is like the best graphical user interface tools out there for wireless hacking. Of course there are more, but I'm pretty much a fan of that, so click here, copy that. Of course the same procedure, cd desktop, git clone, and what this tool make difference is that it has graphical user interface, and it's pretty much easy to use, like very Now you're gonna see why. cd like wifipumpkin. Now go for installer.sh, which is gonna install all dependencies. So basically it's prompting us with the usage, so double minuses install, and now it's working for installing all the dependencies it needs and the tool itself, so we don't have to worry about nothing. So the install, as you can see, is pretty much easy, but the tool must make sure that you have all the dependencies out there, so it can function and run normally. So here it's basically running bash, it's written on bash, and it's basically running different commands. For example, apt-get to install dependencies, like we see here, wifiphisher def is already to newest version, and so on. So here it's updating some information, it's updating some records. We need to wait a little bit, and we saw that there was even an uninstall option where it's going to actually uninstall that tool and so on. So basically this tool is great, even though when you see the uninstall option you're gonna see that there were a lot of like hard work for that tool. So we should respect that, respect all developers out there to make our job easier. Respect. So everyone should respect each other. So basically here we're almost done, I think. And keep in mind that if you don't have that dependencies, the installation can be actually go for like a lot of time, so you have to basically wait and be patient. So that's what we're doing right now. As you can see, it's pip installing, and pip install basically means Python install. It's installing Python modules and libraries. So basically with pip install or pip3 for Python 3 install, we can install different modules in Python. So these tools, from now we can say it's using bash in Python, and maybe some Java for frontend. I'm not sure about the frontend, but from the tools that we see here, we know that it's using bash and Python. We have some different tools for Python, for part3, part2, it's using the both Pythons. So now let's continue, and while installing, let's focus on documentations and see what does it have. So we have framework for rogue Wi-Fi access point attacks. So we have brief description, how it looks. We see the interface is pretty good. Therefore we have installation. We need cd pumpkin install, which we did right now. Or we can even download the deb file and we can install it manually with apt-get f-install. So basically whatever the option you actually prefer, it really does not matter, it's always good to go. So we have features, we have rogue access point, DAO attacks, we have probe request, DHCP starvation attack, we have credential monitor, transparent proxy, Windows update attack, phishing manager, HTS bypass, and basically what HTS is the newest security feature for basically fighting with man-in-the-middle attacks, or basically DNS spoofing one, because when you're man-in-the-middle you can DNS poison the requests, and when someone actually want to go to facebook.com, he goes to your facebook.com, and when he enters the password, he gets the password to the fake page where you got it. But the HTS is a tool that do not allow, it's basically hard coding in browsers, and that tool do not allow any websites like Google, Facebook, YouTube, and so on to be actually run without a security protocol and so on. So they're just hard coded there, and it's hard to actually bypass. And I'm not sure how the partial bypass HTS mechanism here is quite working. And we see the keyword here is partial, because by hard coding the variables it's pretty much near impossible for now with that knowledge to bypass that kind of things. So it's amazingly hard, and that's why it says partial. So it's not guaranteed to work anytime, so do not leave big hope for that. Therefore supports beefhook, rpoison, DNS spoof, the one we were talking about, and a lot of modules, yeah. So we have to support that guy who wrote that, which we respect a lot. We have the attacks, some of the attacks, like how they are displayed, like the transparent proxy one, the ID of the attack, and so on. So let's go to the tool. It's still installing, so we have to wait a little bit. And that's how some of the attacks are working. Yeah, the code inside and so on. So now the only thing we have left is to wait. So now I'm gonna pause the video and gonna be right back whenever we are ready. So Be right back, guys. Okay guys, now we are ready, and now it's time to basically clear that window and see the directories right there. Now we need to type basically not the installer but the wifipumpkin. So execute that using dot and slash. You don't have a working installation. Okay, so running wifipumpkin. Great, and this is the tool that we wanted. This is the graphical user interface, which, as I said, is pretty much good. Even if we have runtime and some table of our targets, our users actually. So here we have the Wi-Fi adapter, we have the router, we have connection is 0, we have SL strip plus DNS to proxy, which is status IP off. Now if we put to start, it's gonna be on. We have monitor activity, we have sniffer images. So basically how that works is if there are any images right there, like literally any, it's gonna be stored here, and we're gonna actually visit it if the images are unencrypted. So if the communication is unencrypted, we're gonna see the image right here. We have plugins tools there. We have settings, of course, for setting different parameters, so like SSID and BSSID. We have proxies. We have just a lot of options. Now just run that too. Return 0. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the tool I wanted to show you. You can go around and play with like a different kind of options, like we have server phishing manager, Windows update, and so on. We can here implement Java update, Windows update, DOP update, sorry. We can specify our internet adapter and so on. We can go here and settings, play around with every single one of them. This tool is like the one that we did in the command line interface. Also, it has some different functionality like hard poisoning and so on. Basically, it's doing quite the same thing, but it's doing like with graphical user interface. So here we have even the SSL strip and partial HTSS. We have the Wi-Fi authentication and so on. So I'll close that. Thank you guys for watching. This was today's video about hacking wireless networks. I hope that was useful for you, and I hope the knowledge you've gathered here were actually used. And of course, I want to say that I am not responsible for any actions you take whatsoever. So be careful, be responsible, and do that only in engagement or in testing environment when you have permission. Because doing such actions with such tools without having a permission is counted as illegal in most countries, so be careful. You don't want to get in some troubles, don't you? So thank you everyone for watching. This was the videos about hacking wireless networks. I hope that was interesting for you, and now we're moving to the new module where we are going to talk about mobile hackings and so on. So guys, I really appreciate everyone for watching, and see you in the next video.